What is up, guys? It's Beancrew49 here. We are back on the Desolation map. And we are downtown. Yeah, guys, I've been working on Chinatown so much recently that I feel like it's time for a change of pace, you know, and I don't have too many projects going on right now, okay? It's a downtown sort of thing here, and the only thing I'm really working on right now downtown is the Drumpf Tower, okay? And usually, like, I'd have 15 or so projects going on at once. I've tried that. It's been okay, and I still do have, like, a lot of projects floating in the air, but right now I'm sort of kind of just focusing on a handful because I think it's more manageable, okay? So with Drumpf Tower is one of the projects that I got going on, and I'm just going to go show you what we got so far, just do a little reminder walkthrough and show you what, you know, just so you can see the evolution of this thing. You know, the first floor is a lobby, the second floor is like a restaurant slash exhibition hall, dance place. So yeah, just reminding you what we got going on here in the Drumpf Tower. Today we're going to work on the third floor, and I'm not going to get a whole lot done. Looking back on it, not a lot of progress, but you know, it's interior work. It goes slow. It's the slow, methodical stuff that, I mean, look at all the details you gotta do. I mean, this is not like building a building exterior, and we know that. Oh, I gotta fix this. This is the elevator. I don't know why I put glass here, so let me fix that real quick. So yeah, I'm gonna work on the next floor, which is gonna be sort of like, I'm kind of up in the air. It's like a suite, but it's more like where people live. It's like one of the suites that you can rent. I don't know what you call it. What do you do? Do you rent a hotel room? I guess you buy a hotel room for a night or so. Anyway, it's one of those, like it's like a hotel room, but it's on steroids. It's got a kitchen. It's a nice place. Basically, if you're really wealthy and you want more than just like a hotel room with a mini bar, you know, this is the Drumpf Tower, my friends. This is the lap of luxury, okay? So this is what I got going on this floor. Each of these different colored carpets represents a different place, and they're very strange, oddly shaped, wouldn't you say? Some are like really rectangular, others are like semicircular. I don't know. It's going to be difficult, and it's going to be hard. It's going to really test my interior building abilities. I'm going to be challenged here today, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. This skyscraper, every skyscraper, is a lot more work than you ever imagined. Okay, it's a lot more work than you imagined, and so I'm learning as we go, and I really got to start focusing on these skyscrapers. I really do, because man, oh man. Anyway, today's Monday, and I'm going in super fast motion. You know what that means, guys, right? It's Creative Question of the Week time, the part of the series where I answer questions provided by you, the community. And let me just say thank you to all of you who participated in last Monday's video. We had a great discussion. We had some, you know, eye-opening revelations, and we also had a lot of great questions. You know, it seems like when we have a really thought-provoking creative question of the week, that breeds a lot more questions that are somewhat related to it, and I think that's what happened this week. We got a lot of great questions. I had a lot of great questions to choose from, so I want to say thank you. I really do appreciate it a lot. I love having a variety of questions, and so this week's comment of the week, or creative question of the week, excuse me, comes from two different people because I got two of like the same question. When I get two of the same question, I know that we gotta answer it. That just shows that it's on the tips of people's brains. And so the first creative question of the week comes from Eve Clark, and she says, "Do you think humans are inherently evil or good or neither?" Oh, great question, Eve Clark. Thank you for that. And the second question comes from Miles 2B Beta, and he says, "Do you think children are just born bad sometimes? Some kids have good parents but are still very intolerable, I guess. Can all children turn out great with the right parents?" Oh man, this is such a complicated, deep question. I want to thank you both for you know, going down this pathway. It's gonna be interesting and eye-opening. I'm still not 100% sure of what I believe, but let me tell you where I'm coming from, and hopefully this will spark a discussion in the comment section again. I love these great discussions that we have. So, are people inherently good or evil, or is it just are they just a product of their environment? And I do believe that it's a combination of both. Okay, let me tell you what I believe. And I hate to use the word believe, because I don't believe it. I know it, okay? I know it in my heart of hearts. I know that this is true. And since I can't prove it to you, I'll just call it a belief, okay? I can't prove it to you, but the reason I know it's true is because, and we've talked about this, I've talked about this ad nauseum, okay? Is because, Human beings have six senses, and once you unlock your sixth sense, because it's repressed in most of us, you can start perceiving other things. Okay, imagine you were blind and now you can see. Suddenly the world looks a lot different, right? And suddenly you're taking in a lot more information. That's what happens when you open your sixth sense. Suddenly you can see things that other people can't, and you start to take in a lot more information. So I know for a fact that once you die, we have what you would call a reincarnation process, and this physical body is just a vessel for your soul, and your soul will take a different form. It might be on Earth, it might be on a different planet, and it might be on a different vibrational energetic level. Okay, and so I know this is true. Once and I don't expect you to believe me, but that's where I'm coming from. I believe that in the reincarnation cycle. So I believe that for many of us on Earth, we're just, cycling through bodies over and over again, right? One time we're a African American male. The next time we're an Indian girl. The next time we're, whatever, okay? But I think your soul remains the same. No matter who you are in this physical realm, your soul is the same. And your soul is actually learning as you go. So what you learned in that the life of an African American male, your soul takes in that information and it becomes a better person. And you sort of bring that with you into your life as an Indian child, right? An Indian girl. So, but one thing that I've noticed is that when we reincarnate back on Earth, we have egos. And ego, I don't mean it like in the sense that, oh, I'm better than you. That is ego. I'm talking about ego in the Carl Jung sense. And what ego is to me is your mind. Okay? The part of you that says, I am, fill in the blank, that is who I am. I'm better than this person, this person, this person. I'm not as good as that person, that person, that person. I know for a fact this. I know this, that. Your ego is basically the program. It's a program that's running in your brain. And it's telling you basically how to survive on this planet. It's telling you when you're hungry. It's telling you when to fight. It's telling you when to flight. It's telling you what to think of that other person. And believe it or not, our egos are programmed into us. It's through our parents when we're very small children, when we're learning how to, experience this world. It's our parents program us. They're probably the biggest programmers. Our teachers program us. Our society programs our ego into thinking in certain ways. And that's who you are. And a lot of people only live by their ego. They only live through their ego. They only hear the thoughts in their head, and that's how they make decisions. That's how they interact with people. It's based on their egos. In fact, 95% of people, I would say, if I had to guess. I mean, I'm just making that number up. But as far as my interactions, 95, maybe 98% of people are just going through this life using their ego mind. But there's a different aspect to you, and that is your intuition and your emotion. And ego is so loud, it's nonstop chatter, that a lot of people can't hear their intuition. They can't hear their true heart. And it's sad because the ego is self-destructive. It wants to dominate. It wants to, war and fight and tell you. It wants to convince you that you're right and the other person's wrong. But what I truly believe, guys, is that we all come from the same place. We are all different aspects of the same entity. And we're all just different parts of this one, coming here to learn about ourselves. And once you strip away the ego, you can start to see that. So getting back to the question, I know I kind of went off. I had to tell you that to tell you the foundation of what I'm trying to say here. Is are people inherently bad, evil? I think yes. I think some souls have been corrupted. They've spent so much time away from the source. I call it the source, but that oneness. They've spent so much time away from oneness that they can't feel the light of the one. I know I'm talking in very abstract terms here. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, but some souls are just dark, and I hate to call it evil because I believe that the dark is as justified as the light. I think evil is just as necessary as pure positive good, because we can't have one without the other, and they're both aspects of the same thing. And so when I say that maybe some souls are evil, I don't think they're evil. I just think that they're a negative polarity. I think positive and negative have to coexist in order for either of them to exist in the first place. So I think some souls are probably inherently negative. I think some souls are inherently positive, and I think there's some souls that are, in between, a mixture. And I think most of us are, of course, all of us have a dark side and a light side. Every single one of us. And so it's kind of unfair to chastise the people who you would think is evil, because that's just your ego telling you these things. Now, the reason I brought up ego was because, yes, I think that we come to this earth with a certain slant, maybe. But I also think that we're a product of our environment, and we learn things. And evil, as you would call it, or negativity, can be taught. And a lot of people are just taught negativity. It's not intentional most of the time. It's just, the product of their environment. Why do people who live in the ghetto and low-income homes turn to violence and drugs? It's because that's what they were taught. That's all they can see. So are those people evil? Not necessarily. They weren't inherently evil. They didn't come to this planet for evil. They came to this planet, maybe they were a blank slate, and they just learned negativity. So I think it's a bit of both. But there is a way out, my friends. And that's what the point of this video is today. This is why I wanted to answer this question so badly. There is a way out of this kind of mode of thinking. And it is the stripping away of your ego. I got into a discussion in my comment section with a subscriber about this, and that's kind of why I wanted to answer this as well, is that, like I said, 98% of us are just going based on ego. And the ego is such a dangerous thing. It wants to dominate. It wants to subjugate. It wants to chastise. It wants to do violence. And the only way to get in touch with your true self is to strip away that ego. And yes, it has its place. Yes, if you didn't have your ego, you would starve to death, because your ego says, I'm hungry, we got to get food, right? That's what your ego says. So we need the ego, yes. But if it's constantly chattering, any of you who've tried to meditate, or imagine this. What would happen if you tried to just sit still for 5 straight minutes? Have you ever tried to do that and just stare blankly? Can you do it? No, you can't do it, because your ego says, oh, go get up and have a sandwich. No, go play a video game. No, go do this, go do that, go do that. Just constant chatter. It doesn't shut up. It doesn't stop. A lot of people call it monkey mind, because it's constantly feeding you information that's not even pertinent to things. How many of you have been, working on a test, and you think to yourself, man, I got Chinese food and Chinese leftovers in the fridge. You know what I mean? It's constantly just interjecting into your life with nonsense and BS that you don't need to hear. And in order for you to ascend, in order for you to become a better human being, you have to strip away that ego. Instead of looking at, let's say you're an athlete, right? And you're competing against this other athlete, and your ego is saying, man, I'm so much better than that guy. I can jump higher. I can run faster. I'm a better person, right? That's your ego. If you were to strip away your ego, you would see that other person and you would say, man, that other person can run very fast. That other person put in the work to, run as fast as I can. Maybe not quite as fast, possibly, but they can run fast and they put in the work. And I really appreciate them for being the type of person who has a work ethic like mine. And, I really appreciate them for being so good at what they do that they're spurring me to become better. They're like a teacher, because I see this person and I want to become better, and I really appreciate them for that, and I acknowledge their existence, right? That is how you would look at competition without ego. But the ego says, I must defeat this person, I must destroy them, I gotta embarrass them in order to make me feel better about myself. Can you see the difference there? And can you see how negative ego can be sometimes? And in order to become a more enlightened human being, you have to strip away that ego. You have to get rid of it. In order to discover your true soul, you have to silence the ego. And how do we do that? You're probably wondering. Meditation. I'm sorry I'm sounding like a broken record, but that's how you do it. That's pretty much the only way to do it. And meditation is not about just trying to shut the ego up, but it sort of is. And it's just saying to your ego, I appreciate you, I respect you and all the things you do for me, but I need you to just go away now. And when you do that, then you can start to hear your true self speaking to you. And your true self, if you're a positive person, is not trying to dominate, it's not trying to humiliate, it's not trying to prove you're better. It's accepting everything for what it is, because everything is a part of you, because we're all the same. We come from the one, and we're all different aspects of the one. We have different perspectives, but we are all the same thing. We come from the same place, and every single viewpoint is valid, whether you're Mother Teresa or Jack Kevorkian or I don't know, some serial killer. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about that. I got deep there for a second. Let's have a discussion. Put your comments in the comment section below. Put your creative questions of the week for next week in the comment section below. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for these Monday videos. It's my favorite part of the series. I love doing it. So thank you for all that. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, got something out of it. It lets me know I'm doing something right. Of course, put your comments in the comment section below, and subscribe if you haven't already. All right, that's going to do it for me, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy Minecrafting. Peace.